Hi, I'm Ross Benjamin reporting for the Offshore Gaming Association. That's OSGA.com, your number one source for information on the offshore sportsbook industry. That's OSGA.com. It's time for my weekly edition of my Sunday NFL Underdog picks. I have three of them, and let's get right started. Carolina at Detroit, 1 o'clock Eastern Time kickoff. Currently, as we speak, the Detroit Lions are a 4.5 point home underdog, according to Bookmaker. Dating back to last year, this is a Carolina team that's lost 6 of their last 7 on the road. In addition to, Carolina's also 1-8 against the spread in their last 9 games as an away favorite of 5.5 points or less, and that includes 0-3 straight up in ATS if they're coming off a loss. And just to refresh your memory, Carolina's last game was a nationally televised Thursday night contest at Pittsburgh in which they were lambasted 52-21 by the Steelers. Now Detroit, they look to be on a downslide, especially since trading away top receiver Golden Tate. But let's keep this in mind. This is a Detroit team that's gone 4-0 straight up in ATS in their last 4 games as a home underdog when facing an opponent with a win percentage of .666 or less. Currently, as we speak, Carolina is 6-3, and you guessed it, that's a .666 win percentage. So that trend qualifies quite handsomely in that regard. Detroit will also be out to revenge last year's 27-24 loss at Carolina. I'm going to take a shot here with the Detroit Lions plus the 4.5 at home over the Carolina Panthers. The next game, Houston at Washington. 1 p.m. Eastern Time kickoff. Washington is currently a 3-point home underdog across the board. Since September 20th of 2015, this is a Washington Redskins team that's had plenty of opportunities as a home underdog. As a matter of fact, during that course of time, they've gone 10-1 straight up in ATS in their last 11 games as a home underdog when facing an opponent that has at least one win on the season, and certainly Houston qualifies in that regard as they are right now 6-3 on the year. This is also a Washington defense that's performed awfully well this season. The Redskins have allowed 17 points or less in 6 of their 9 games this season. And let's not forget, this is a Washington team with a stellar turnover differential of plus 11 through their first 9 games of the year. Now, Houston has won 6 games in a row, and they should be applauded for that. However, let's not forget, those 6 wins have came over teams that currently have a win percentage of 500 or less. And Washington, like I just alluded to, 6-3. So this will be the first time in 7 games they will be facing a team that currently has a winning record. Houston is also 0-6-1 against the spread in their last 7 games when they're cast as a favorite between 3 and 6.5 points, and they're facing an opponent with a win percentage of .750 or less. Repeating again, so I don't be confusing in that regard. Houston 0-6-1 against the spread in their last 7 games as a favorite of between 3 and 6.5 points when they're facing an opponent with a win percentage of .750 or less. Washington currently at 6-3. That's a .666 win percentage. I'm taking the Washington Redskins here, plus the 3 at home against the Houston Texans. Finally, the Pittsburgh Steelers travel to the lower tip of Florida, the northern Florida, to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. And that game goes at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. Currently, as we speak, the Jacksonville Jaguars are a 6-point home underdog, according to Bovada. Now, this game was originally scheduled to be a Sunday night telecast, but since NBC has a flex schedule in that regard, meaning if it's a matchup that they don't see as being a prime matchup, they'll bump that game and bring in another game, and that's exactly what they did. Jacksonville moved to a 1 o'clock game, Minnesota and Chicago moved to the Sunday night telecast at 8:20, and that's a slap in the face to the Jaguars because there's no way NBC did this because the red hot Pittsburgh Steelers right now have won 5 in a row. On the other hand, the Jacksonville Jaguars have lost 5 in a row. This should be a no-brainer, right? Not so fast, my friend, as Lee Corso would say, because it's never that easy when it comes to sports betting. Now, Jacksonville has won 6 straight games at home against non-division opponents. And they're also 7-0 against the spread in their last 7 games as an underdog of 3.5 points or more. Jacksonville has also faced the Steelers in each of the past 2 seasons, both times at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, and they went 2-0 straight up in ATS in those games while combining to score 75 points and run for 395 yards against that Steeler defense. So they definitely have confidence that they could play with Pittsburgh. And if you follow the NFL, specifically the Jacksonville Jaguars, you know that Blake Bortles, their quarterback, performs much better at home than on the road, as well as and that goes hand in hand with Jacksonville being a much better home team than a road team. I'm going to take a chance here on the Jacksonville Jaguars plus the 6 over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Repeating again, all 3 games home underdogs. Detroit plus 4.5 versus Carolina, Washington plus 3 versus the Houston Texans, the Jacksonville Jaguars plus 6 over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Be sure to visit my website, rbwins.com, where you can purchase all the games I wager the most money on. And you spend a little bit of money and you'll make a ton of cash. That's rbwins.com. You could also call me direct at 781-571-0299. I employ no salespeople. You'll talk to me and me only. I can tailor a package specifically to your needs. That's 781-571-0299. And once again, the URL, rbwins.com. Until the next time, good luck with all your picks.